fiction.
Is this heart or head?
Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers will win the AFC North. That's what they will do. They will they will have a better record than the Cleveland Browns. They will have a better record than the Baltimore Ravens. And don't even get me started with Cincinnati, even though I'm not quite as hard on them because Marvin Lewis is no longer there. Bottom line is that it is fiction for anybody to think that Mike Tomlin is going to have a losing record.
Fiction. I could see him going 8-8. I don't see him worse than that. 9-7, 8-8. By the way, Juju Smith-Schuster is going to have a big season. Yeah. And Ben is still good, and they got Connor who's going to have a big season. Like, they have a nice team. It's a solid kind of NFL team, and Tomlin's a great coach. Everyone can shut up. But I could see an 8-8 season.
How'd they do in the playoffs last year?
They didn't make the playoffs last year.
Oh, okay.
Dan Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, yeah, just checking.
All right, Giant fan. All right, you go ahead and talk. Go ahead and talk. Don't let me get started.
Daniel Jones, am I right, Mom?
Keep it up with the Joneses. Takes the league by storm.
You got an owner that says he hopes to never see him. The owner said, I hope I never see you.
Over under when you see Daniel Jones. Week what?
I said week 6.
Okay.
Because it's the Giants, it'll be week 10, but yeah.
All right.
Molly will be depressed by week 4. But
whatever, guys. Right. The Chiefs were the number 1 seed in the AFC last season. Fact or fiction? The Chiefs will again be the top seed this season. Max Kellerman.
Fact. The Chiefs are loaded. Mahomes is a year more experienced. Andy Reid is a great coach that's changed with the times. The only really guy who's done that like him is Belichick and Tomlin. Like the truly great coaches of the era. Yeah, this is a fact.
It is a fact. Not just Patrick Mahomes. My brother from another mother, Travis Kelce, is going to show out this year. Officially the best tight end in the business. Right. He will show you why this season. Okay. And by the way, Tyreek Hill is
going to have a monster season,
That's right.
too.
Tyreek Hill is there.
The Eagles snuck into the playoffs last year as a 6 seed. Fact or fiction? Philly will get a first-round bye this season. Stephen A.
Ooh, that's a tough one. They're winning the NFC East. They're winning the division, okay? But are they going to get a bye? That means they've got to be, one of the top 3 seeds? Ooh, I'm going to go with fact. I'm going to say that the Eagles will show out this year.
Remember,
and they will get a bye.
They got to be a top 2 seed.
Top 2.
Yes,
they got to be top 2. So that would be New Orleans, Rams.
I know you spend a lot of time in Philly.
I'm rolling with the Eagles. I'm rolling with the Eagles.
Why it's a fact Jerry Jones don't want to pay Ezekiel Elliott. That's going to cost the Cowboys some games early.
I'm rolling with the Eagles.
I'm going to say fact also. Let me tell you something. Coach quarterback, Carson Wentz. And by the way, for all those Eagles fans mad at Joe Santaloquito who wrote the article, they thought exposed stuff in the locker room, right, about Carson Wentz. What I have heard out of Philadelphia since that article is Wentz took that to heart, has become a much better leader and teammate. Not that he was ever a bad one, but has really accepted the responsibility. If Wentz has that Foles stuff now, the Eagles are going to be a juggernaut.
I just wish you stopped bringing up Joe Santaloquito. The guy's a good guy. He's a damn good reporter. And the fact is, ain't nobody thinking about going at him. They were looking at Carson Wentz.
I'm saying
about him.
What I'm saying is, the point is when people do pieces, like behind-the-scenes stuff that gives the fans information. Sometimes fans, there's a backlash because they feel like they're downing the team. But in fact, it can be constructive. It's not all like
for about 24 hours, and then after that, they focus on the player that was being talked about because they don't give a damn about the reporter. They give a damn about the player. They knew what he was writing was true to some degree. They knew that.
Last season, Baker Mayfield had 27 passing touchdowns as a rookie. Fact or fiction? Baker throws for more than 30.5 TDs in 2019, and the dog pound goes wild.
Fact. I'm taking the way over on this.
Yeah, you are.
Yep.
Yeah, no challenge there. Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry.
Todd Gurley had his season derailed by injury in 2018. Fact or fiction? Gurley will have less than 1,000 yards rushing in 2019.
No, I think that's fiction. I think that he's too gifted. I think they'll find he'll surge on later, whatever. They'll protect him early, but I think ultimately Todd Gurley, with what he brings to the table, he's just too gifted to have less than 1,000 yards. I think, especially in Southern California, under those conditions that he'll be playing at least half the season with those 8 home games, I definitely think that Todd Gurley is going to have more than 1,000 yards rushing.
Do you think he's going to have under 70 yards a game? No. Gurley's going to have over 1,000 yards rushing. By the way, he didn't put up eye-popping rushing numbers last year, scored 17 TDs, but he had over 1,200 yards. Even if you take 200 yards off of last year, he's over 1,000.
Yeah. All All right, let's see what else I have for you. The Jags finished with only 4 wins and landed in the basement of the AFC South last season. Fact or fiction? I find this team very, very interesting. Old St. Nick has come to town, everybody. Remember this. Jacksonville wins the division in 2019. Max Kell.
Fiction. You have teams in that division who are better than Jacksonville.
Okay.
I think Foles is the kind of quarterback where Jacksonville sneaks in as a wild card. By the way, Coughlin team, right? Coughlin's done this with the Giants. Sneaks in as a wild card. Boy, they could go on a run. But if you're talking about winning the division, I don't know if they have the firepower on offense.
I'm going to say it's fact. Nick Foles is clearly not Blake Bortles. I think he's an upgrade. Obviously, he has to perform. But I think that not having a turnover-prone quarterback with that defense, remember they drafted that kid Josh Allen, him with Calais Campbell and the crew rushing the quarterback, and then you got some of the elite guys in their secondary led by Ramsey. I think their defense are going to be monsters. I think that they're going to give the offense plenty of opportunities to produce. I think Nick Foles is going to produce more than he messes up, and I think as a result, even though Tennessee can't be ignored, Indy's clearly not the same without Luck. Houston's going to be a bit compromised without Lamar Miller, even though you still got Deshaun and you got Hopkins.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Jacksonville to win this.
And Leonard Fournette should be healthy for the whole season.
Right, that's true. And that adds to the offense, obviously. I think this question even exists because Andrew Luck is gone, right? So then the question is, what does Brissett have? Brissett was thought highly enough of by Bill Belichick to draft him with 3rd round. I mean, that's not 2nd or 3rd round, which is not like he wasn't taken in the 6th round or 7th round. He's taken in the 3rd round. That's a real draft pick for the Patriots. To develop him, he played for the Patriots, won a game when he got on the field. That's a hell of a backup quarterback to have. He has upside. The Colts may be better than people realize. And the Texans, Deshaun Watson, I think that's the team that wins the division.
The one team that has me worried about them, the one thing that has me worried about the Jacksonville Jaguars is that I don't think Tom Coughlin and those boys did enough to help Nick Foles in terms of the weapons available to him. But I do believe I'm making my proclamation because I think their defense is so elite that I think their defense is going to wreak havoc throughout the league and the division, throughout the conference and the division this year. And I think that's what's going to
what else, too, there, when you talk about the receivers not having the great weapons, wasn't Marquise Lee was injured last year, too. So they had a lot of injuries.
By the way, Marquise Lee, like in college, think of how good a receiver in the pros Robert Woods is, right? Like Marquise Lee was on that team and considered, they were both excellent, but he was considered the guy with more upside, and he kind of gets forgotten because he's been hurt.
Yeah.
But you're right, he has upside. This Jaguars team, the reason I bring up Coughlin, reminds me in many ways of the Giants team that won a couple Super Bowls. Maybe they don't make the playoffs, but boy, if they do make the playoffs, they can get busy.
Make some noise, no question. The Falcons, this is another interesting one. Finished with a losing record last season, but they were decimated by injury. They do have so much talent on that roster. Fact or fiction? The Falcons win the NFC South. Stephen A.
I still think it's fiction. And the reason I think it's fiction because I think New Orleans is a more complete team. Now, Atlanta's a more complete offense. You got Matt Ryan, you got Devontae Freeman coming back, you got Mohamed Sanu with Julio Jones, and Calvin Ridley is a stud. Their passing attack is going to be something to behold. But I still think defensively, even though for the most part last year they were decimated by injuries, ending the season with 8 guys on IR, I just think their defense is a huge question mark. I don't look at New Orleans as having that problem. I think they're more well-balanced. I think Drew Brees is better than Matt Ryan. I think Michael Thomas is a reliable weapon. I think Alvin Kamara is a stud. And so you take those things into consideration along with playing in that dome in New Orleans. I'm going to give New Orleans this advantage, and I think this could end up being the last year of Drew Brees' career. I think they're going to show out.
I think New Orleans may be the best team in football. Time will tell, all things considered. It's nothing against the Falcons, who are up and down. Like, they're a weird franchise. 1 year, and it's year to year. Like, oh, my God, they're great. And sometimes even in halves, they're up and down. It hasn't been the same since Shanahan left the offense. Just hasn't been the same. And not only do I think, are they in the same division with a team that may be the best in football in New Orleans, top to bottom, when you consider the playoffs and experience and everything, too, the Panthers are my sleeper pick. Like, I think the Panthers, I think it's New Orleans, but they're going to have real run if Cam is healthy, considering how the Panthers were playing when he was healthy, how Cam was playing when he was healthy, McCaffrey now on the team, etc. So it's nothing against the Falcons, but their inconsistency combined with Shanahan's departure, over a year ago now, and those other two teams, I don't see it.
Yeah, I do think Dan Quinn knows what he's doing, but obviously defensive-minded coach came from the Seahawks, and now they have a new OC. Dirk Cutter? Am I spreading rumors? They brought in a new OC. Was it Tampa's former coach?
Yes.
So we'll see what he can do. Taking the reins. All right, we asked you guys to weigh in on our Twitter poll today. Who would you rather have in your prime, Kobe or Shaq? Get ready for this.